Hello and welcome to News Tonight. I am Rhoda Ngonzi on sign language, Elizabeth Nakakoni. Let us dig into it. President Yoweri Museveni has kicked off the Parish Development Model Assessment visit to Lango sub-region. Today, he visited different farmers in Kole and Lira districts. He was impressed with the participation of citizens in wealth creation and PDM projects. President Museveni also visited Amolata district where he interacted with Joel Okello, a model farmer who is doing both farming and cattle keeping.
President Yoweri Museveni has started his wealth creation and PDM tours of Lango sub-region.
When you look at Lango sub-region, as much as the national average says that 39% of the population is within the subsistence economy and they need to be placed into the money economy.
But now with the Parish Development Model, we're here to check how have the people utilized the 1 million that we gave per person in a parish.
The story from all the sub-regions where we have gone is very, very motivating and inspiring. From Acholi to West Nile to Masaka to Bukedi to Bugiso.
He started a tour in Amolata district where he inspected the farm of Ewan Joel Okello.
We are exceedingly humble and grateful that amidst your tight schedule, you have taken this initiative to come and visit a model farmer in Amolata district.
Schooling, we would survive on distilling waragi, and I know it up to tomorrow.
That in whatever we do, for many years, for me who was born in Minakulu bordering Egulo, when I was young, I was always running from the LRA wars, and I know the fruits of peace.
Okello is a distinguished model farmer.
But now you can see these young men, as they hold hands together with their wives, their work will multiply, their farms will become stronger, and our communities will grow stronger. It's possible for Africa to stand up and build Africa and be an example on the global table to discuss how the globe should be built and how it should go.
Now in Africa, the main problem is Nino Matek. This is the problem in many parts of Africa, but also in Uganda.
The president is in company of the First Lady, Janet Kataha Museveni.
I want to congratulate Mama Akori.
Yeah, yo mama tupoyo, Mama Akori.
And her husband. For getting out of sleeping. This is the big problem of Africa. There's a lot of potential, but it's not used.
Because our target and the target of President Yoweri Museveni is that everyone must get out of poverty. I mean everyone. And what we have in plan is that we're going to put this money in every financial year.
If resources could allow, we would need to consider increasing the money for PDM, and that is something that His Excellency the President has already presented before Cabinet. We know that in 1, 2 or 3 years time, the funding for PDM will be increased.
Akoi Rose, a beneficiary of the Parish Development Model Funds in Kole District, is among those who have hosted the President.
Now she's motivated. She doesn't have a good facility to keep these pigs. She's now motivated. She wants to get a good shelter for keeping these pigs.
I will help her to buy another oxen.
Akoi thanked the President for the PDM seat capital, although she needs more support.
And I believe that irrespective of whether you're opposition, whether you're NRM, the 39% poverty does not just strike on the door of NRM, on the door of UPC, on the door of FDC or NUP. Poverty strikes on every door.
I am one of the people who are good candidates of a parish development model. I have a 4-acre model for coffee and 1 acre for cocoa. I've invested heavily in it and I'm expecting great returns. So I preach it and I practice it.
president concluded the first day of his tour in Lira district, where he visited Apio Vicky, another PDM beneficiary.
So while women, the NRM has been trying to lift up women so that they can work together with their husbands or with men.
Apoy Rubanga now gave Apio and her family the 15 million.
The president will be in Lango until Friday. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
And Parliament has tasked the government to present the circumstances which led to the attack of Uganda's embassy in the Democratic Republic of Congo. This follows a social media video recording showing suspected rioters attacking, burning and looting equipment at the embassy. Deputy Speaker of Parliament Thomas Dayewa told the House that government will on Wednesday during the plenary session explain accordingly. Dayewa responded after some MPs led by the leader of opposition fronted the concerns on the floor during the Tuesday parliamentary session.
Liberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory and to advance the good of those whose interests you've
presented. Honorable Speaker, I want to draw your attention and to seek your indulgence. There is a brewing conflict in Eastern DRC. DRC is our neighbor. There are a couple of Ugandans who are in DRC, and what's happening there is of great concern to us as a country. Honorable Speaker, for about 4 years, the Ugandan ambassador to DRC has not been accredited. So I actually keep wondering about our relationship with DRC, what it's like as we speak today. I'll also remind you that while Uganda waived visa fees for DRC, DRC has not returned the same favor. So it appears to me as if we have some kind of frosty relationship with DRC, and now with the ongoing conflict there, it is concerning.
But government already has moved requesting for space on the order paper, and they were in a meeting, right now they were in a meeting, because I told him if I could give him space today, but he told me, of course, statements of this nature, you have to be very, very cautious, or else you might end up causing much more problems. So they were in a meeting, and he told me they had already been speaking to the CDF of DRC. Then they were consulting other people to finalize on a statement which can come here. So I request that we do tomorrow, we give him space, since it was his initiative.
The situation is very tense and hostile in Kinshasa at the moment. There's people are living under fear because they are marauding youth who are going from place to place, burning embassies and their property and losing their properties. All our staff are safe. They are in hiding. They feel threatened, but otherwise they are safe. The properties in the embassy has been looted. Chairs, desks, tables have been looted, and the curtains have been also been pulled out, but were looted. But it is very sad and very unfortunate that this happened. But we also thank God that our staff are safe. My guideline is that nobody should come to the DRC at the moment. And my advice is that we should sit and watch the situation, see how it evolves, and then we'll be able to take a decision in 2 or 3 days. I don't know why they target us. They use us as scapegoats. We have not done anything. We have not caused anything in the DRC, but we are targeted. It's very unfortunate.
The Democratic Republic of Congo's foreign minister has warned of an attack of unprecedented intensity as rebel forces reportedly backed by foreign allies advance towards Goma, a key Eastern City. Escalating violence has highlighted fears of further destabilization in the region, forcing thousands to flee their homes. Kenya's President William Ruto has called for an urgent summit of East African leaders to address the crisis. He urged the presidents of Rwanda and DRC to heed the call of peace and prioritize de-escalation efforts to restore stability.
The escalating conflict and deteriorating situation in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo are a grave concern to the people and governments of East Africa. Noting the worsening humanitarian crisis exacerbated by ongoing military actions, including the closure of airspace in Goma, I call for the immediate and unconditional cessation of hostilities. I call on the parties to the Luanda process on Eastern DRC and appeal specifically to my brothers, President Felix Tshisekedi and President Paul Kagame, both of whom I have had the occasion to speak to this evening, to heed the call for peace from the people of our region and the international community. We will be convening an extraordinary East African Community Summit within the next 48 hours to facilitate and to deliberate on this crisis and chart a way forward.
Tuko nasikia mabombe ziko natokea huku zengine huku na huku. Ndio tumeona na sie hatuwezi kufia pale, umwe tukimbie. Tuko naenda tu Goma, mimi tuko nasikia sana Goma ziko tunapiga. Hatujue kama tukimbilie wapi, tushakosa makimbilio.
Well, I think we ought to be looking at the situation on the ground right now. The situation on the ground right now is that a city such as large as Goma, with millions of civilians, is being taken in an onslaught by the Rwandan Defense Forces and the M23. Granted, every country is allowed to feel preoccupied by its safety. This is a legitimate concern, and I am not questioning it, but we have to have a clear distinction between the concern and the reality. And the reality right now is, yes, maybe Rwanda is concerned with its territorial integrity, but the DRC is the country whose territorial integrity is being violated by Rwanda. It is the DRC and the Congolese people who are being killed right now.
Tshisekedi kama anashindwa kazi atoke achebe wanaweza kiti waikale, sisi tutakuwa nashinda, tuko nakimbia kila siku. Mimi nilikiaka niko mzima, juu kushindwa vuka barabara bashaka nigonga, nishakuwa kilema. Kila siku tutakuwa nakimbia, kila siku tukimbie. Atutafutie solution ya kurudia kwetu.
This is not a DRC specific crisis. This should compel all true contributing countries to engage in a robust conversations with the United Nations, with DPKO, on what it means to be a true contributing countries. How is it permissible that a country, one of the largest true contributing countries, gets away with killing peacekeepers, as peacekeepers from South Africa, Malawi, Uruguay were killed in less than 24 hours. This is unacceptable. It is a violation of all the principles of the United Nations. And I think that every self-respecting, truth-contributing country, such as South Africa, has also a responsibility, but also a right to have an answer from the UN as to what standards it applies when it engages in partnerships and how it holds partners accountable to respect international law.
President Museveni has signed the National Sports Amendment Bill 2024 into law, the Presidential Press Unit has confirmed. The new law is expected to bolster Uganda's sports sector by aligning it with international standards, particularly in the fight against doping.
The National Sports Amendment Bill was introduced to revise Uganda's National Sports Act, Cap 151, ensuring compliance with the World Anti-Doping Code and the UNESCO International Convention Against Doping in Sport. These amendments were critical to avoiding potential bans on Ugandan athletes in international competitions due to non-compliance. Key provisions in the amended law include the establishment of an independent national anti-doping organization, expanded definitions of doping violations, and the imposition of stricter penalties for athletes and individuals involved in doping-related offences. The law also mandates the timely adoption and publication of international anti-doping standards.
A 9. Quick release, it's a 9, so they'll share the spoils of that.
Initially tabled for its first reading in 2022 and passed by Parliament in March 2023, the bill underwent revisions before receiving final presidential assent. Notable updates include the formal recognition of archery as a sport and other structural improvements to the framework governing sports in Uganda. The bill was initially tabled for its first reading on November 10, 2022, and passed by Parliament on March 2, 2023. Following a review and incorporation of key amendments, the introduction of archery as a recognized sport and the removal of kickboxing, the bill was returned by the President and subsequently reconsidered by Parliament. Reporting for ABC TV News, Helen Barbara Jizamba and Samuel Senono.
It is a 10.
And the National Resistance Movement NRM Secretary General has addressed leaders undergoing a one-week leadership training program at Palabek Secondary School in Lamore District. The Cadreship Development course has attracted over 700 local leaders from Lamore, Kitgum and Pader districts.
Encouraging them to start this journey by transforming themselves mentally, psychologically and economically before they can be leaders of the people. The people need leaders who are exemplary in nature. So I was reminding them to become these leaders that people should bank on, leaders that have what to show, and leaders who are honest and dedicated to the principles of NRM. And I want to congratulate Honorable Engineer Eli Ronek, the Minister, and Honorable Lilian Abe for organizing this. And this is what should be done in all the sub-regions of Uganda.
Actually, sub-region, you realize that the level of poverty is second to Karamoja. Now, that tells us that our people have not adapted to the messages that the President has been preaching, basically on issues of economic empowerment, using what government has brought like PDM, Imioga, the youth livelihood, and even GROW that has come of recent. Now, all this, the training is focused to try and make our people understand these messages of doing farming as a business, not just farming for basically what the President refers to Mecham.
Now, the Uganda National Students Association today convened a pivotal annual meeting with the Deputy Director General of the Internal Security Organization, ISO, Kano Emi Katabazi, to discuss the crucial role of student leadership in shaping the future of Uganda. The aim of the meeting was to inspire and empower the next generation. Other notable personalities that attended the meeting were retired Flight Captain Michael Mukula, who is the NRM Vice Chairperson for Eastern Uganda.
Please. But I can confidently tell you that if you are not in charge of yourself today, determining what you will be after you have left these institutions you are in, you have no time to shape your future.
And to have discipline, you must learn one thing, and I've grown up knowing one thing. I don't drink alcohol. I don't take alcohol. I don't smoke, and I've never smoked opium.
If you are now an inspirato and drug addict, somebody who can congregate ideas from watching TikTok, TV, and the screens, then you know you are a mistake. You should spend most of the time doing the thinking in your head. It is what you have thought about to crystallize that idea that you swing into action.
To a drug called pethidine. It's a painkiller, also an opiate, and it took me down. It took 7 years of my life, 7 years of my career, 7 years of my finances, and I was down with that. However, I have been clean for 5 years. I lost a big part of my relationship with my family because, as you know, when you're an addict, you do not accept what your problem is.
You realize that secondary schools have role models who have been in these primary schools, and they can come back and give back to their community. They can talk to them. After talking to them, they can encourage them.
UNSA deserves a leadership that streamlines its membership to benefit most of it. UNSA deserves a membership that has an opportunity to grow in leadership.
And Ugandans have been urged to actively participate in the ongoing land registration process in order to safeguard their land ownership and combat land insecurity and land grabbing. This call was made by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Lands, Doga Sokalanyi, during a meeting with a delegation from Liberia who are in the country for a benchmarking mission on land policies and laws.
Uganda's land tenure system is divided into 4 categories: customary land, freehold, leasehold, and Milo land. Through its comprehensive policies, the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development has worked tirelessly to ensure that Ugandans benefit from secure land ownership. These efforts have drawn the attention of other countries, which have come to borrow a leaf from Uganda's approach.
It is important for us as African countries to secure our land rights and secure land for our people, because land is a factor of production. So these people want to learn from us what we have done in our different tenure systems. They want to learn our land information system and how it works, and they want to learn the policies we have taken to sensitize our people on land.
Tuesday morning, a delegation from Liberia visited the ministry to benchmark Uganda's land policies and laws, seeking to improve their own system. Daniela Gray-Johnson, Project Director, Liberia Land Authority, says they also have 4 categories of land tenure system in Liberia: public, private, government land, and customary land. However, many people are finding it difficult to register their land.
A lot of emphasis right now is being placed on customary land, and our donors have been supporting us to develop regulations to implement the law, but we are still working to bring those functions over to the Liberia Land Authority.
And it is very easy. We have a website. When you go on that website under digitization, you will see the steps you take to title your land. You shouldn't be deceived. The land office in every ministerial zonal office has a conveyance belt. The moment you lodge in your papers, you will trail them on your intelligent phone. So,
Doka Sokalanyi, the Permanent Secretary of the ministry, cited that the ministry has made significant strides by digitizing land records and rolling out land titles to citizens in a bid to deter land grabbing and conflicts.
The untitled land, we are working very hard to title the land. We are now at 35% of land registered, and we are moving steadily and surely. We'll be able to protect people's land. And it is now easy. Once you want to title your land, we go through with you the systems. If your papers come to our ministerial zonal offices and they are correct, within 10 days you'll have your land titled. But because we have digitized now, it will be very difficult for somebody to come and put a title over your title, because we'll review it in our system. And we have portals which now inform the people what is happening on their land.
Following their engagement at the ministry, the delegation visited the National Land Information Center to gain insights on how Uganda manages its land data. Rebecca Nantongo, Stephen Kalisha, UBC News.
Now, the absence of the East African Monetary Institute due to each East African country's desire to host its headquarters remains the biggest obstacle to establishing a single East African monetary unit. This was revealed by the First Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for Eastern African Community Affairs, Rebecca Kadaga, while officiating the 25th anniversary of the East African Community at Kampala International University.
The current East African Community was established in 2000 following the signing of its treaty in 1999. Initially comprising of Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania, the bloc expanded to include Rwanda and Burundi in 2007, the DRC in 2022, and most recently Somalia in 2023. This brings the total population of East African Community to nearly 400 million people. While speaking at the event, Right Honorable Kadaga highlighted that the establishment of a single East African Community currency would have been accomplished were it not for the competing interests of EAC countries, each pushing to host the East African Monetary Institute's headquarters.
I'm very, very keen that we have a currency, if even possible, this year, because it is traders like ours from landlocked country have to cross many borders, and each time they cross, they are changing money and losing. So that's an area which I would want to see handled very, very quickly. Although our problem is that the governors of the central bank are waiting for convergence criteria, but you cannot converge at the same time 8 countries. So it's still hard, and I'm trying to convince our colleagues to go for a common currency as we wait for the East African currency, which will be issued by the Monetary Union.
What could be the harms that stopped East African community to have our currency in this 2024?
So some of us are looking forward to that time when we shall have one currency, when we shall have one army as East Africa.
Despite the success of the East African Community Customs Union, intra-EAC trade remains low at just 20%, with most trade occurring with European countries.
So until we make a federation and plan together and market together, the volumes are going to continue being low. So because we cannot stop, like now Kenya has an agreement with the EU, we can't stop them. They are going to trade other things with the EU which they don't trade with us. So we need the federation to ensure that we have the real common market.
Nyonyo Abba, the chairperson of South Sudanese students at Kampala International University, expressed concern over the high tuition fees and the payment of tuition in foreign currency by EAC students compared to natives, which undermines integration efforts.
We are paying different currency, and we also charge differently in respect to what our colleague in the respective country paid. For example, we South Sudanese paying in dollars, and most of us, they are from refugees. We are having a lot of trials.
Now the issue of the students, that is a policy issue. In all universities, the international students are charged in dollars in Uganda. It's not true that they are charged more, but they are charged in the foreign currency.
Regarding the DRC insurgents, where Goma has reportedly been overtaken by M23 rebels, there are sharp criticisms towards the DRC government for expelling EAC troops who were serving as peacekeepers.
As far as East African community is concerned, I pray, and it is my humble prayer to all the leaders of East Africa, as far as 8 countries are concerned, to make sure that they sit together, regardless of one undermining another one, to make sure that at least they understand the situations that are happening there and the root causes, and they make sure they address that issue.
Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo. Dial *165 *80#. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You are now entered a draw to win school fees.
Looking for instant excitement? The Uganda National Lottery Spin for Cash game is now available online. Wherever you are, you can join the excitement for just 500, 1,000 and 2,000 Uganda shillings. Don't miss out. Register now on www.nationallottery.go.ug for a chance to win your share of 2 billion instantly. What are you waiting for? Play Spin for Cash now, anytime, anywhere. Ituba is the proud operator of the Uganda National Lottery.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Government of Uganda presents Post Buses in Uganda, operated by Posta Uganda. We specialize in professional transport, courier and vehicle hire services across Uganda. Our routes include Kampala Masaka Mbarara Kabale Chisoro, Kampala Mukono Jinja Mbale via Tirinyi Road Soroti Lira, and Kampala Luwero Kamudini Gulu Kitgum. Our main offices are located at the Post Office Head Office on Kampala Road, with booking services available at counters 23 and 24 at the General Post Office. You can also book at designated district post offices along our routes. For inquiries or bookings, please contact us on 0751 684 184. Posta Uganda. We deliver trust.
The Ministry of Water and Environment, in collaboration with its partners, invites you to the commemoration of World Wetlands Day on February 2nd, 2025 at Katerera Playground, Rubirizi District, starting at 9 a.m. The theme for this year is Conserving Wetlands Today for a Secure Tomorrow. The guest of honor is His Excellency the President of Uganda. Let's celebrate the vital role of wetlands in sustaining life and livelihood. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Water and Environment, Rubirizi District Local Government, in partnership with UNDP and GCF Project.
Welcome back. Now, the State Minister for Defence and Veteran Affairs, Honourable Rhoda Ngonzi, has commissioned the newly constructed girls' dormitory at Air Force Secondary School in Katabi and Tebe Municipality, Wakiso District. This to enable students to have a favourable study environment for academic excellence. The 98 million launched facility is fully funded by the UPDF members of the 11th Parliament, which aims at ensuring girls have education and to address the challenges of structures in government schools.
The launch of the newly constructed 200 beds capacity dormitory has registered yet another significant impact for Uganda People's Defence Forces in fostering girl child education through addressing some challenges affecting them while at school.
These girls have special needs that the boy child may not have. Very special needs. And putting this dormitory solve many of those needs. And I'm also more happy that you have the sanitary. You added it in that dormitory. You have done the best.
During the official handover, the State Minister for Defence and Veteran Affairs, Rhoda Ngonzi, commended the UPDF MPs for supporting government, especially in ensuring good quality education for all. Minister stressed the need for more efforts to be put on restoring all government-aided school structures to enable students have a conducive education.
This facility is a gesture by you members of Parliament towards uplifting and supporting the education sector in UPDF. And it is a demonstration of generosity and kindness to the fellow comrades that you are representing in Parliament.
Across the country, there was an outcry regarding the deplorable state of school structures. The reopening exposed the fragility of our educational infrastructure, and it was clear that urgent action was required as a result. The Minister of Education took up the planning to facelift some of the school buildings across the country. However, the UPDF was not considered initially.
General Wilson Basumbadi, the State Minister for Trade, who doubles as the chairperson UPDF caucus in Parliament, revealed that they want to make a legacy and create a precedent to other members of Parliament.
Health. So we chose to contribute among ourselves immediately from our first salary in the Parliament there. We sat as a caucus and decided that we must leave something that we will be remembered for, that we were ever members of Parliament representing you, because we had not seen it.
Air Force Secondary School started in 1996 at the air base in a small ground room, and later shifted to the current station, Katabe Barracks, where we are now, under Air Force headquarters.
Air Force Secondary School has over 2,000 students, both for UPDF soldiers and from the community around Entebbe. Mario Nawori and Sula Kagugube for UBC.
And the Ministry of Education and Sports has launched an ICT UNESCO Republic of Korea Fans in Trust project aimed at skilling initially 400 teachers. Teacher trainers will be the first target and will be equipped with digital skills, beginning with those in teacher training colleges and institutions. The event was held at Fairway Hotel in Kampala.
This ICT project, supported by UNESCO and Republic of Korea, targets teacher trainers and teachers who are still undergoing training. The project seeks to equip them with ICT skills which are in tandem with current digital dynamics. It's envisaged that it will have a cascading effect throughout the entire education chain.
Okay, today we are launching a project that is going to be to bring in ICT for the teachers, beginning with the teacher trainers, equip them with the skill so that they can go and equip others, and finally that skill will be useful in the classroom to improve learning outcomes.
The project seeks to develop a standard ICT platform to be used for e-learning, make a standalone policy to guide ICT teaching in schools, normalize ICT teaching as a fundamental tool to aid teaching and dispense knowledge.
The learners today, the young people already know. So even before you start teaching, you should provide the basic skills for the teachers. Basically, there are 4 areas of focus of this project. One is to identify the standard platform, ICT platform, for e-learning, for management, education, learning systems, so that we have a standard and approved e-learning platform in the country. The second one is on the capacity building, trying to build the capacity of the learners and teachers using the platform that will have been identified. And the third one has to do with the policy, to ensure that there is a ICT in education policy, which is a standalone policy to guide the delivery of ICT within the education sector. And then the last one is, of course, to change the mindset and attitude of the people to ensure that ICT is seen as a tool to be able to deliver in education.
It's a $375 million project to be implemented in 4 years. The bigger chunk of that money will go into area of research and policy development.
So looking at what it's meant to do, one is supposed to be supporting in the development of e-portal where all teachers or anybody can access content that is going to be developed out of the project, can be accessed freely, I guess, by anybody out there, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a student.
Initially, we will target 400 teachers, but hopes to increase the figure with time. The teacher trainers are the initial target of this project.
In the inception phase, we are hoping that we'll train up to 400 teachers. But of course, ultimately, when this is already institutionalized, we expect that all the teachers through the teacher training institutions will benefit. For now, our starting point will be teacher trainers, so to say. That means people who are training to train teachers. Then it will roll out into other teachers in secondary and primary schools.
So initially, since we are beginning, we want to target those who are still not yet out, still in training, so that by the time they come out of the training, they also have this skill as well.
The project seeks to be implemented alongside UNITE guidance. Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
National Housing and Construction Company Limited wants 5 trillion budget allocation annually for government to improve housing for citizens. The demand was met by the company's CEO, Engineer Kenneth Kaijuka, during a Thanksgiving at the 3rd prayer service to mark 60 years of the company's service held in Kampala.
Owning a home and a house is a necessity of life, and good housing plays a vital role in shaping a person's well-being and quality of life for individuals and communities. To provide access to safe and affordable housing, the National Housing and Construction Company Limited was formed in 1964 with the mandate to increase the housing stock in the country, rehabilitate the housing industry, and encourage Ugandans to own homes in an organized environment. Despite the formation of the construction and real estate management company partly owned by the Ugandan government, good housing remains an issue. With Uganda's population projection expected to rise from 45 million to 100 million people in the future, a lot needs to be done to avert challenges of housing in the country. In his sermon at the Thanksgiving ceremony for National Housing and Construction Company Limited's 3rd edition to mark 60 years of dedicated service to the citizenry, the main celebrant, also patron Miracle Center Cathedral Church Lubaga Pastor Robert Kayanja, elaborated on the background of having a home as in the biblical understanding.
We need to address the imbalance. We cannot have great tourism unless we address housing issues. Now, the word Beit means house. That's why we get the word Bethlehem. Herem means bread, and Beth. That's why Bethlehem is a house of bread. Jesus is not called the bread of life. No, he was born in house of bread. So that's why you find out that the first thing in beginning is a house.
Government has been urged to contribute more to housing to facilitate and accommodate the growing population.
Affordability comes from the constituent components that bring about the facility you want to build, as well as specifications and the scale and the scope. But simply put, one guidance we've taken, if you look at how collaboration can bring down cost, land in this country belongs to the people. Each of the households has land. That means for you to build, to have land which is affordable, that will bring down the cost of the house, you've got to collaborate with the landowner. We are not the manufacturers of materials, building materials. We've got to collaborate with manufacturers. We've got to collaborate with financiers.
The issue is this organization needs to be given power to raise its capital, to create its own capital. We cannot overtax Ugandans anymore. National Housing needs a staggering 5 to 8 trillion shillings per annum in order to sort of the deficit of the housing we have.
Amwae Vanjuko for UBC.
And the Rotary Club of Naguru has donated over 3.7 million shillings to the Uganda Cancer Society to support people battling cancer. This donation is a significant contribution to the fight against cancer in Uganda. This follows an increase in cancer with 19.3 million cases, new cases registered globally in 2020.
Recent reports from the Ministry of Health, cancer remains on the rise with cervical cancer, breast cancer,
prostate cancer being the most common types, with 22,992 deaths and 34,008 new cases registered in 2020, based from Kampala and group population-based cancer registries. The Rise in Cancer prompted the Rotary Club of Nagulu to organize a breast cancer project, which started in October 2023, aimed at increasing awareness and sensitization to communities about cancer and its prevention.
We've created an impact in the lives of women by purchasing artificial breasts for the cancer patients. We've managed to raise 100 artificial breasts that are worth 4 million Ugandan shillings.
The project included fundraising to support patients with cancer and survivors at large, and today Rotary Club of Nagulu has handed over 3.7 million to Uganda Cancer Society to offer hand.
I'd like to hand over this check.
While handing over the donation, the Executive Director of Uganda Cancer Society, Dennis Orod, applauded Rotarians, stating that this donation will go a long way in providing medical care and support to cancer patients.
Cancer is a very serious problem in Uganda because the number of cases are on the rise. If you look at the latest statistics in the country, we now register every year 3,000 new cases. This is one of the top cancers in the country. And for every 100,000 people diagnosed, 22 cases are always positive for breast cancer.
He further emphasized that early detection and screening are key to preventing cancer.
Always visit hospital for regular screening if you're a lady, because breast cancer affects both men and women. Men too have breast cancer, and when a man has breast cancer, the risk is always high because of the surface area of the breast.
The project director of Rotary says Rotarians are committed to supporting the community and making a positive impact on people's lives.
Over the proceeds from our breast cancer project, which we run since October last year to date. We implement the project in partnership with Uganda Cancer Society, to whom we have handed over the proceeds.
Talk to people and see that there are a lot of people suffering from cancer, especially women who have been affected by breast cancer. So these young people have come together to help 100 of them by getting them artificial breasts. I'd like to encourage more people to join this cause.
This comes as we await to commemorate World Cancer Day, slated on 4th February 2025 in Mbara District, under the theme United in Goals, Unique Our Needs. Susan Inabu, good day. Michael Bakablindi for UBC News.
And with that, we'll take a quick break. When we return, more details.
Kitande kyavaawa
kati waliwo omusajja eyattanze nti yasooka zitomeranga ne baga atomera ntomere kati ne bateekerawo ddala lufula ne bayitawo kittante
nga wooli
asaliwo bindi mu matu
Amanya bampita Abdul Halim Muhammad muzadde wa Muhammad Chitante Primary School. Nkozesa MTN momo okusasula school fees kubanga kyangu nnyo gikozesa singa ugenda mu banka nosimba line ne kusumbuwa abazadde mbagamba okozesa momo pay kubanga abantu bonna kati tugenda kuwangula fena tuli mu MTN tuwangule fenna
kiwedde owuli mulondo omulidde omwami nze badimanyirira abakyala bokka
n'abaami ate
bwekikwatagana ku muzadde
school fees ezo *165 *80
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo. Dial *165 *80#. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You are now entered a draw to win school fees for your child for a whole year.
The Ministry of Water and Environment, in collaboration with its partners, invites you to the commemoration of World Wetlands Day on February 2nd, 2025 at Katerera Playground, Rubirizi District, starting at 9 a.m. The theme for this year is Conserving Wetlands Today for a Secure Tomorrow. The guest of honor is His Excellency the President of Uganda. Let's celebrate the vital role of wetlands in sustaining life and livelihood livelihoods. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Water and Environment, Rubirizi District Local Government, in partnership with UNDP and GCF Project.
Special announcement. The NRM National Chairman, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni Tibuhaburwa, informs all party members and the entire public that the display and update of the members' register commences this Wednesday, January the 29th to Saturday, February 1st, 2025. During the exercise, the following activities will be undertaken. Registration of new members, including students aged 16 and 17 years, as identified by the NRM Village Committee, and checking the accuracy of members' particulars. At the end of the update exercise on Saturday, February 1st, 2025, a village baraza will be held to scrutinize the register and subject it to a public audit where ineligible members will be deleted and any eligible members physically present be added. Announced by the Right Honorable Richard Todwang, Secretary General of the NRM.
Another Ugandan world marathon champion Joshua Cheptegei has embarked on nurturing his football talent additional to athletics to promote sports in Sabay region. He made the confession during the finals of the Sabay football tournament sponsored by Joshua Cheptegei Development Foundation held at Kapchora Stadium.
According to Cheptegei, football has been given less attention compared to athletics, hence the need for critical support.
We are here at the 20 Center, and as you can see thousands of people. We had the Sabay tournament, and you can see here there's a great final between a team from Kwen and a team from Bukwa. We are doing this to highlight, to really reinstate the football in the region, because it's the only sport that has not been tapped in Sabay sub-region.
The event was attended by the Deputy Resident District Commissioner, Kapchora Msakaja, who commended Cheptegei for the initiative of talent promotion.
This tournament, in the first place, is a unifying factor for the region. And you'd recall initially that Sabay was well known for FGM. But nowadays, we are focused onto the sport, which is athletics and football. So I want to really take this singular honor to applaud Joshua Cheptegei for this initiative.
The team here called Korite is from the remote place called Kirigi, which has been a hotspot of both the Pakots and the Karamojong warriors. And now they have gotten the right opportunity to display their talents. And I believe that without security, they wouldn't be able to display this kind of talent. And for sure, the sport has brought up a unifying factor to unify the whole of Sabay sub-region, even up to Amudat, even up to the Bokots and the Karamojong. So this is a unifying match.
Abraham Kiplimo, the Chief Executive Officer of Joshua Cheptegei Development Foundation, underscored the objectives of the tournament.
We are not only doing our sports as an institution in athletics, but we're also bringing our football come closer to the communities. And we aim the young gentlemen and women below 20 years so that they are able to diversify their skill, exhibit their potential. We are also playing for youth empowerment.
The tournament attracted 8 teams and 2 for female, participated in the first edition of Joshua Cheptegei Sabay Sub-Region Football Tournament.
And Ugandan golfers have, with the launch of the Pearl of Africa Golf Series at Uganda Golf Club Chitante, been offered another platform to showcase their skills.
Uganda's professional and gross amateur players have cause to smile following the launch of the Pearl of Africa Golf Series.
The objectives of this series are basically to promote professional golf. We have a lot of talent in this country, very many upcoming young players, but they have not yet penetrated the big stage. And we believe such kind of series or activities will ensure that they position themselves so that they can compete at the high stage. And then, of course, also to inspire the next generation of golfers.
The Pearl of Africa Golf Series will be unique because of intentions of using sport to champion other causes, including environmental protection.
So this series is aimed at integrating sustainability by promoting waste management, community cleanups, and environmental awareness at every event that we shall hold this year and all the years upcoming.
This series will be played at 3 venues, starting with Uganda Golf Club Kitante next week, and will then go to Entebbe Golf Club before climaxing with a visit at the Lugazi Hills Club.
We would like to thank you all for considering Lugazi as the final event for the Pearl of Africa Golf Series. We are quite excited because this would be like a rehearsal for the Uganda Open. We have the Meta Open before that as well, which would run in similar lines.
The golfers that partake of this golf series will do so for a cash kitty of 20 million shillings for the professionals and 5 million shillings for the gross amateur players at every stop. This pioneer Pearl of Africa Golf Series will attract some of the country's best professional players, including Irene Nakalembe, Eva Magala, Ronald Rugumayo, Deo Akope, and Flavia Namakula. It will also have some of the best gross amateur players, headlined by Regan Joseph Akena, Joseph Kasozi, and Joseph Kinywai.
Well, that does it for news tonight. Thank you for sticking with us. Elizabeth Nakakoni on Sign Language. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Have yourselves a good night.
Inspiring Uganda.
Welcome to Good Morning Uganda, your go-to morning show to kickstart your day with all the latest updates.
Let's dive deep into issues that matter most to you.
In a world of stories waiting to be told, the headlines are your guide. Navigate the currents of news and knowledge with our daily updates of newspapers. Stay informed, stay empowered.
From the roar of the crowd to the thunder of victory, witness the drama unfold with our sports updates. Whether on the field or in the stands, join us as we celebrate the spirit of champions.
Rise with Good Morning Uganda, weekdays from 6:30 a.m. In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Maskari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The five-a-side tournament started 10 years ago, but during the COVID pandemic, it was stopped. And hence, this is the 8th five-a-side tournament that has been played by the different Rotary clubs, corporates, and Rotary clubs. Five-a-side is organized by the Rotary Club of Chiwatule. This tournament brings together over 48 Rotary clubs, and that's from the 2 districts. Now, from what we see in the background, these are the scores of the different clubs, corporates and Rotary clubs that have been able to play right now. We still have a few more matches to go, but it's one of those exciting times we have during the start of the year, because we get to see Rotarians from the different districts come and participate in football. Football puts so many people together, and I would like to thank the Rotary Club of Chiwatule for this very innovative idea of bringing Rotarians, Rotaractors, and corporates in one place, doing something that they really, really like.
Meanwhile, let's continue recognizing our corporate DJ. Let's continue recognizing our corporate partners, financial intelligence, ultimate security, ranchers finest, KCCA, ISBAT, national planning, Leshego, CIC insurance, Four Corners, DSTV, Prudential, UETCL, PKF, Pride Microfinance, Impact High, NCBA Bank, Unicaf, Centenary Bank, Auditor General's Office, UAP Old Mutual, Africa Data Edge, Mayfair Insurance, and the rest that we shall be announcing. We want to continue announcing our, recognizing our corporate partners. Thank you very much for supporting us and for supporting Rotary 5-a-side.
Assemble
so that the Governors Party may inspect and we get this underway.
9213 and 9214. Welcome, and today we will get a winner. Thank you.
Thank you, President. Good morning, all the winning teams. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, let's bring it home now.
Good morning, good morning. We welcome you all to this day as we start the five-a-side football tournament. We'd like to congratulate all of you for making it today and look forward to welcoming the new winner.
Official kickoff now. Governor Ann, kick.
Kampala Spring Reef, you're on pitch one in the next game. Can we have you flip the side, please? Kampala Spring Reef, you're on pitch one next game. Please leave to the side.